Bitcoin has been stuck in a ranging market since the 14th of March 2024. We can see that this has lasted a pretty significant period of time of around 81 days so far, with some pretty extreme volatility. We did see, of course, the initial kind of moves down here, which was a 23.35% to the downside. This was followed up by a bit of a surge to the upside, most recently from the 1st of May to the 21st of May by 27.28%. We still find ourselves in daily lower highs and lower lows, and we are still looking for a bit of a correction here for Bitcoin before we potentially have that next breakout situation. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be discussing the technical analysis for Bitcoin, sharing my thoughts and opinions on what I think is likely to happen next. Let's roll the intro and get right down into it. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick, and today we are of course discussing what's going on with BTC. And we're going to start things off with the daily time frame. So here we have Bitcoin paired up with USDT. We're on the one-day Binance chart, and as you can kind of see here, we have been tracking this sideways ranging market. This is actually giving us a huge amount of confidence that Bitcoin actually has a lot further to the upside to go. Although we've reached into new all-time highs at around 73,777. And following on from a previous video that we did, we were talking about the idea here that Bitcoin actually looks like it is doing very similar things to what it did back in the previous bullish markets, essentially just testing out and consolidating all around the previous all-time high. So in this particular case, the all-time high was back in 2021 at $69,000. Although we went up into a new all-time high here at 73,777, we have consolidated back down, coming down as low as 56k, and just basically ranging in this area. And so this is something that we've seen time and time again, and this time unfortunately is no different, and therefore we are going to be expecting some pretty interesting results. So as we can kind of see, we had a three-wave correction to the downside into that 56k, a three-wave correction to the upside, coming in most recently on its swing high at the $71,979. This was right inside our expected range here at 69 to 72. And then of course we are still looking for a potential move here still to the downside, 63 to 65k on our daily time frame. Okay, all of this though I think is going to lead us into a bit of a surge to the upside where we are tracking $78,000 to $86,000. This will be a new all-time high, and it will be a breakout of this continuation pattern that we found ourselves in. If we go ahead and turn on the simple moving average, the 50 exponential moving average and 200 exponential moving average, you can see that the price action is, of course, above the yellow-blue lines. That's the 50 SMA, 50 EMA, and our 200 EMA is still down here at $55,000, $55,895. Now, historically on the channel, I've been talking about a requirement to come down towards and to find support on our 200-day exponential moving average. This was something that was very much likely to happen, in my opinion, once we kind of saw this move to the upside. However, since then, we have seen the stochastic RSI become, oversold, and we are literally looking for upward momentum, not downward momentum. So things have definitely changed with sentiment shifting in the space. So I don't want to keep all of that in mind and understand that, we are, in my opinion, likely to come down here now more towards our 50 simple moving average, 50 exponential moving average, find support on these and then rally. This is something that we saw as resistance, a breakthrough situation, and now we'll probably look for a retest. And it's that retest where we potentially then start to see that breakout to the upside for BTC. Now, as I brought up the stochastic on the daily time frame, you can see it has plenty of room to the upside, lots of momentum. We have, of course, now crossed the average of the stochastic RSI as well, indicating to us that we are seeing a momentum shift for BTC. If I take off the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘's stochastic RSI V2 indicator and throw on the divergence indicator, you can see here that we are looking at upward momentum shifting on the RSI as well. No divergence divergence in indicators here, though, so no bearish divergence, bullish divergence, hidden or otherwise. And we can see here we are above the 50 level on the relative strength index, indicating that we still have plenty of room to the upside on the daily time frame. Our volumes are decreasing, okay, and this is actually quite an interesting one. So here, as we have basically pulled back in terms of price action, we can see that the volumes have also been decreasing. This actually shows us that there's lack of an appetite for selling, and we're likely to find support and continue the run to the upside. So as I was saying, you know, although it was possible to move down to the 200-day EMA a few weeks ago, it's looking less and less likely that we have to go down to that 200 EMA now. Okay, so just bear that in mind. So on the daily time frame here for, you know, Elliott wave theory and for the EMAs and the stochastic RSIs, all of that's actually looking pretty decent. If we throw on the smart money concepts here, you can see that there's a fair value gap right down at this low range. I'm not expecting it to get filled out just yet. I could be wrong. We might see a bit of a collapse here, but I don't think that's going to be the case. We have some bullish change of characters on the smaller time frame, so lower than the daily, and that's actually looking pretty decent. So yeah, for the most part, I'm not too concerned over the things I'm seeing from a smart money concepts point of view. We have the week high, so we can see that run to the upside at a later date. All in all, smart money concepts is actually looking pretty good for Bitcoin, which is nice to see. Let's roll this up into a weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, guys, we can see that we do have the 50 EMA, the blue line, the 50 SMA, the yellow line, and the 200 EMA, the white line here, basically all lower than the price action, indicating that price is still very bullish on the macro weekly timeframes. You can see obviously all the target ranges that we had kind of scoped out, and we are still looking for these potential here for Bitcoin to run up more towards $101,000 to $118,000 by the time all of this kind of concludes, at least in my opinion. We might exceed that, but for now that's kind of where the targets are kind of being indicated to us. Smart money concepts shows us with a fair value gap at 52 to 59. Although we've tapped into this, we haven't completely filled it out, but it's not the only fair value gap. And we can see here that there's actually a few that haven't come through properly, so more like 43, 47 and so forth. What's really interesting about this though is that we are still in very bullish times, and there isn't any kind of indication here that we need to kind of worry on a macro scale about Bitcoin's price action. This bull market for Bitcoin is still very much intact. From our stochastic RSI, we can see plenty of room to the upside on the weekly time frame. It's going to take obviously months before we come overbought, and so indicating new all-time highs, in my opinion, is highly likely. Not only are we above the 50 SMA, the 50 EMA, the 200 EMA, we can also see the stochastic RSI on the daily and the weeklies are in pretty decent positions. And so we can start to see some more progression to the upside overall. As we take off that and we throw on the divergence indicator, you can see that we are just below the overbought area. And again, we can be bouncing all the way back up here as we saw previously. So it's looking pretty good from a weekly time frame, in my opinion. Volumes, of course, have been dropping down as we started to see this consolidation. This is exactly what you want to see, but we do want to kind of see volumes picking up as we start to surge up higher. Okay, so we'll keep a close eye on all of that and see whether or not we do actually have the momentum to kind of take the price into those target ranges that we kind of think that Bitcoin has the ability to go towards. So yeah, all in all, I think for the most part, Bitcoin is tracking very, very nicely in comparison to obviously many of the altcoins. Bitcoin's spot ETFs have done a phenomenal job so far, and I still think we have a long way to go before we kind of see this bull market come to a close. You can let me know what your thoughts are on all of this in the comments down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? You can let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you found it useful, smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. And if you haven't checked this video out, you should probably check it out. There's some interesting altcoins that JB is buying right now.